Available for free download, the Skywatch Weather app is on iOS and Android.
Now at 9, the 5-day manhunt for a suspect ends, but the search for a motive for the double murder at Devil's Den State Park continues. It's a gathering of faith and family as Marian Days brings tens of thousands to Carthage, Missouri.
Tenants in one Miami apartment building say they're battling the heat with a broken air conditioner, but their landlord says he's doing his best to fix the situation. I'm Samantha Walker, and I'll have that story coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Authorities are searching for answers, including a motive, following the arrest of a suspect in 2 Northwest Arkansas murders. This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. 28-year-old Andrew McGann is charged with 2 counts of capital murder. He's accused of killing a couple out walking with their daughters in a state park. Now, the girls managed to escape. Omar Villafranca reports from Springdale, Arkansas.
A 5-day manhunt is over. Authorities have arrested 28-year-old school teacher Andrew James McGann, the man suspected in a double homicide at an Arkansas state park.
If you commit a violent, senseless act here in our state, our law enforcement will hunt you down and bring you to justice.
Clinton and Kristen Brink were hiking with their 2 daughters, ages 7 and 9, about 170 miles northwest of Little Rock when they were fatally attacked. The sisters escaped to the visitor center unharmed, asking for help.
They advised that their parents were assaulted. One was possibly stabbed. The parents are missing.
Emergency responders found the parents motionless on the hiking path.
Our hearts just go out to
the
family and the victims.
Everyone that witnessed that.
It's just, our hearts break for them.
State and local police worked with the FBI to comb through tips from the public. At this time, they have not released a motive.
Because of their hard work and investigative skill, we were able to take a monster off the streets and bring relief to Clinton and Kristen's precious girls.
McGann recently worked as a 5th grade teacher in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, and our CBS affiliate in Tulsa got a statement from the district saying that McGann left on his own and passed all of the background checks. Again, when it comes to a motive, police say they're still trying to piece it together. Omar Villafranca, CBS News, Springdale, Arkansas.
The Salvation Army thrift store celebrates 10 years in Joplin. Today, members of the community could come and enjoy the festivities, which included 4 door prizes, face painting, food, and discounts. To help celebrate the day, the thrift store is offered a 50% off sale today.
We got in this morning and we had a line at the door. They love the cheap prices. They love to take care of the things that they can't get somewhere else at the regular prices. It's just some of the stuff's just really expensive.
The celebration sales continue through this weekend. Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty joins us now with a first look at weather.
Well, it turned out to be a much better day for us today with the cold front that rolled through last night. Temperatures about 15 to 18 degrees cooler across the region, which, hey, we'll definitely take. We had some scattered thunderstorms last night. Any showers tonight? A few are going to be popping up in our southern counties, but overall, most of these are going to be south of I-44. Here's 6 a.m. Temperatures great, mid to upper 60s to kick off your Friday. Partly sunny skies. I think most of us probably 84-ish across the region, which we'll definitely take. Mid 60s, low to mid 60s by the time Saturday rolls around. So we have a nice little stretch of great temperatures. 85 for a high, average is 91. 104 was the record set back in 1980. We're going to look at your weekend forecast here in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Doug. Well, the temperatures are perfect for Marian Days as the annual Vietnamese Catholic celebration returns to Carthage, Missouri. It kicked off today and runs through Sunday. As KOAM's Anthony Saviello shows us, the annual festival is expected to draw a crowd of 60 to 80,000 people.
A mass gathering once a year, rich in culture, faith, and fellowship.
Mary's a very important person to everyone. Everyone in a Vietnamese household, as far as I know, has a statue of Mary, the cross, maybe a little shrine. So I think having a lot of other people that are both like me, look like me, speak like me, and have the same beliefs as me, I think it's
Whether they're traveling from down the road, across the country, or halfway across the world, thousands of Vietnamese people descend upon Carthage, Missouri to celebrate their faith.
Really just a taste of Vietnam. I was born here, but I've been to Vietnam a couple times. The smell, the food, the people, of course, like it's awesome to just have, like, I guess, a taste of home or a taste of another country.
And for those who have never experienced what this culture is like, FAM says this is the perfect introduction.
I think this is a very good gateway to experience something new, because, the people here are all friendly. You can start a conversation. They know English, broken or not, so I think if you want to experience something, this is the place. Marian Days, yeah.
In Carthage, Missouri, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
And there are several events throughout the weekend, including Friday's Great Mass at 8 p.m. and a youth event with musical guests at 10 p.m. Well, Stuff the Bus is an annual back-to-school event in Lamar, Missouri. Liberal, Lamar, and Golden City school buses are parked in front of Walmart, and people can donate school supplies into any of the buses. The supplies go to teachers so they can have a few extra supplies throughout the year.
Teachers are needing a lot of pencils, a lot of watercolor paints, a lot of erasers, lots of Clorox wipes and tissues. Ever since COVID hit, they don't get those donated anymore, so that is something that teachers are really needing this year.
The buses will be back out there tomorrow to be stuffed again. Well, back-to-school shoppers in the four-state area can take advantage of tax-free shopping this weekend. Missouri, Arkansas, and Oklahoma are all participating. You can find more information by clicking on this QR code. It'll also lead you to a link to back-to-school events in the four states. Well, coming up, tough turbulence.
A wild ride for passengers flying from Salt Lake to Amsterdam yesterday. I'm Rebecca Castor with why 25 people ended up in the hospital. Coming up.
And later, tenants in one Miami apartment complex say they've been without AC for weeks, while the landlord says he's doing all he can while waiting on parts. Another flight nightmare for Delta passengers flying from Salt Lake City to Amsterdam on Wednesday. Dozens of passengers are recovering after they were battered and bruised mid-flight by severe turbulence. Fox News' Rebecca Castor has the details.
Emergency vehicles lit up the runway at the Minneapolis-St. Paul Airport Wednesday night after a Delta jet was forced to make an emergency landing. Major turbulence sent unbuckled passengers and service carts flying, with 25 people going to the hospital.
People were screaming. I spoke with the pilot, and he said that the plane dropped more than 1,000 feet between the three waves of the turbulence. It caught everyone by surprise.
The plane was headed to Amsterdam from Salt Lake City when it hit the rough air over Wyoming. It's unclear if bad weather caused the turbulence, but the Department of Transportation has promised a full review of the incident.
Anyone who flies knows that we delay flights, cancel flights when weather happens. That didn't happen here, and so we are doing a full-scale review right now to see what went wrong, because again, this kind of turbulence is incredibly dangerous, and we don't want the flying public to go through it.
But climate change experts point out air travel is getting bumpier because of temperature changes and shifting wind patterns.
You could be cruising around in smooth air, clear skies, and then out of nowhere, bang, and you have people flying through the cabin. That's why, the recommendation is have those seatbelts on at all times, even when the seatbelt sign is turned off.
Delta is working with the National Transportation Safety Board here in Washington to investigate the incident, but says all of its crew and passengers sent to the hospital have been released. At Reagan National Airport, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Controversial official at the Food and Drug Administration leaves the agency less than 3 months on the job. A Health and Human Services spokesperson says Dr. Vinay Prasad resigned because he did not want to be a distraction. Right-wing activists have been calling for his departure, saying he was undermining President Trump's agenda. Prasad, a hematologist-oncologist, was named head of the FDA's Center for Biologics Evaluation and Research in May. His appointment was controversial in part because of his criticisms of the government's COVID-19 response and some FDA's drug approvals. Well, Doug is next with a complete look at your forecast. And later, after deadly floods killed more than 130 people in Texas, Local officials face growing questions over why warning systems were not in place.
Well, it turned out to be a beautiful Thursday for us today, especially compared to what we've seen over the past 2 weeks. Over the past 2 weeks, we've been above average in the humidity across the region. Now, some of you got some rain last night and a couple little showers during the morning hours. Anything tonight stays mainly to our south, so once you get into Benton County, northwest Arkansas, you guys have the better shot to get a few pop-up showers through the night. You'll see them fairly random all the way into Friday morning. Temperatures, this is going to be the first morning that we start into the 60s in quite some time. As we go through the day, we're going to stop at your noon hour. We're right around 80, 82 degrees. Here's another good factor on Friday. The humidity is going to drop off as well, even compared to what we saw today. Now, I think most of us 84, 85 as we get into the afternoon. Let me take you into Saturday morning, even better. Look at this, low to mid 60s to start the weekend. Saturday afternoon, great again, 85, 86 degrees. 4 afternoon highs. Day planner for you, 79 by noon, 84 for an afternoon high, well below our average high for this time of the year. 85 Saturday, 88 on a Sunday, and really pretty much sunny skies as we go through the weekend. Now, we still want to fix this. Dew points mid to upper 60s to near 70. So that makes it feel sticky to muggy. We're going to shift this down into that not bad category by the time tomorrow kicks off. All right, second half of the weekend, watching for a complex of showers and thunderstorms. This is going to be our next shot to get some widespread rain across the region. Sunday night into Monday morning. Temperatures mid-80s again on Monday. As we go to Tuesday, we start to kick the heat back in. So we're looking at upper 80s to near 90. By Wednesday, I think we cruise into the mid, if not upper 90s for afternoon highs. Here's why we cooled off. So that big heat dome that has been centered on top of us for the past 2 weeks has now shifted out across the southwestern parts of the U.S. and allows these waves to drop in, one, giving us some rain chances, but also bringing in some cold fronts. So let's go through the next several days. Our high continues to work back toward the west. Here's our chance for rain Sunday night. But I want you to notice what happens next week. High pressure builds back in, and what that means for you is the heat and the humidity return. But then we get another wave that drops in, so next weekend, and that will bring in another chance for rain. I do want to show you this. I know it's dried out quite a bit over the past couple weeks, so your grass may be crunchy, but the soil is in good shape, so we have no drought whatsoever across the region, which we will definitely take. All right, 84 on Friday, 85 Saturday, 88 on Sunday, 87 on Monday with those rain chances, but enjoy it. Look at the 90s soaring back in next week.
And we have a programming alert to make you aware of that will impact your viewing on KOAM starting tomorrow afternoon around 12:30 p.m. The KOAM over-air signal will be down. Crews are planning to conduct transmitter maintenance at that time. Now, the work is expected to take about 3 hours to complete, and we expect to be back on air before Judy Justice and the KOAM News at 5. If the timing changes, we'll update you via KOAMnewsnow.com and the KOAM social media pages. Well, coming up next, more Russian attacks.
Another night of devastation in Ukraine with just days before Russia faces a new deadline from President Donald Trump. In London, I'm Alex Hogan. I'll have more on this story coming up.
In July, Miami, Oklahoma experienced a week-plus stretch of heat advisories. For the tenants of one apartment building in the city, it's been a difficult summer as they battle the heat without working air conditioning. KOAM's Samantha Walker has more on what the building's landlord says he's doing to address the complaints.
Here at the 218 Apartments in Miami, we've spoken with some tenants who've told us they've been dealing with a broken air conditioner since at least early June. Some have taken to social media to show, as a result, some units are reaching upwards of 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Those who live in interior units with no windows say they haven't had many options to address the situation themselves, like by opening a window for a breeze or putting in a window unit. One tenant I spoke with who wished to stay anonymous out of fears of eviction says the air conditioning has never worked for them. And when they've reached out to the landlord, he either stays silent or gives them a non-answer. I reached out to the city of Miami, who says they've received one complaint regarding the broken air conditioner here at the 218 apartments. They say the landlord has communicated with them that the air conditioner is broken and that they're waiting for a replacement part to come in. City staff also tell me that currently there isn't any city code that requires apartments like these have windows. The landlord says the building's $30,000 rooftop air conditioning unit is what's broken. He's using a local company to do the repairs. He says because the unit is under warranty, they have to use specific parts, and it took roughly a month to get the first part. Upon that repair, they learned there was another part they still needed, which they're waiting for to come in. In the meantime, he says he's doing his best to remedy the situation, putting individual air conditioning units in apartments and even cutting holes in his building's walls to place units in apartments without windows. He says one tenant has declined to add a window unit, but most people have been understanding and grateful for his efforts. He says that at this moment, he's simply at the mercy of the repairs for when the main air conditioning unit will be back up and running. Reporting in Miami, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
And the landlord tells KOAM all tenants who are willing and want one will have an individual air conditioning unit installed by the end of Monday. The Senate bill to ban lawmaker stock trading will move forward. Republican Senator Josh Hawley voted with Democrats yesterday to advance his bill to ban U.S. lawmakers from trading. The advancement comes despite the opposition of other Republicans on the panel and the president. He called Hawley a second-tier senator for aligning with Democrats on the vote. Up next, South Park returns with a bang with its 27th season premiere and breaks viewer records. The raunchy 27th season premiere of South Park attracted nearly 6 million viewers on Comedy Central and Paramount Plus last week. The animated series is the brainchild of creators Trey Parker and Matt Stone. Paramount says the episode had the biggest share of the cable audience for a season premiere since 1999. Now, the episode garnered attention for its profane commentary about the president and included a scene with Donald Trump lying in bed with Satan. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. Russia launches its largest strike on Kyiv in months, killing a child and prompting new U.S. pressure for a ceasefire. And weeks after floods killed more than 130 people in the Texas Hill Country, officials in Kerr County are defending their response.
You're watching the 4 states' most watched news.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. The number of casualties in Kyiv is expected to rise after Russia launched a massive attack on the Ukrainian capital. It comes just days before Russia faces a new deadline from President Trump. Fox News correspondent Alex Hogan has more.
Rescue crews searching for survivors after Russia launched a barrage of drones and missiles on Ukraine's capital overnight. Ukrainian officials say air defenses destroyed many of them, but others managed to bring down residential buildings. There were multiple deaths, including a 6-year-old boy. Dozens more were injured.
Everything was blown out. I got very scared for my children. I managed to cover my youngest with myself.
The attack is the largest since President Trump shortened a 50-day deadline for Russia to reach a peace deal with Ukraine. He's now giving Russian President Vladimir Putin until August 8th to agree to a ceasefire or face massive economic consequences, though Moscow says it's developed immunity to sanctions after living under them for years.
Putin has always been able to work around sanctions to a certain degree. He's not as intimidated by that as what happens on that battlefield really matters to him. They're not going to necessarily change him overnight.
Meanwhile, Russia is claiming more success on the battlefield, capturing a key town in Ukraine's eastern Donetsk region. But Kyiv is getting more help from the U.S. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says he approved large-scale agreements for weapons shipments on Wednesday.
Moscow wants to keep fighting, but the whole issue comes down to potential, resources for war, and money.
Earlier this year, the State Department said that the U.S. has provided around $67 billion in weapons and security assistance to Ukraine since Russia launched its invasion. In London, Alex Hogan, Fox News.
A dozen Democratic lawmakers are suing the Trump administration for blocking their access to federal immigration detention centers. The lawsuit is over a Department of Homeland Security policy that requires a week's notice, while also limiting access to certain field offices. According to the lawsuit, that policy violates federal law that permits unannounced inspections by members of Congress. Now, members of Congress who have visited the facilities reported overcrowded cells, spoiled food, and medical neglect. Texas lawmakers are in Kerr County today looking for answers about the response to deadly floods in the state's hill country. Local officials are facing criticism over their response during the initial hours of the disaster. Fox News correspondent Garrett Tenney has more.
Weeks after devastating floods tore through the Texas hill country, officials in Kerr County are facing questions about their response during the early hours of the storm.
That day will haunt me for the rest of my life.
More than 130 people were killed, including dozens of young campers and counselors, when the Guadalupe River rose more than 20 feet on July 4th. Others are still missing. Local leaders say it's a disaster no one saw coming.
The water was just moving too fast. It was moving 17 miles an hour. And it started only 7 miles from Camp Mystic.
Many have criticized the lack of warning systems in place for these flood-prone areas. Officials here say they applied for but never received sufficient funding to improve those systems. They also blamed weather forecasts for providing communities with inadequate warnings until it was too late.
We had no idea to elevate the preparedness posture with the information we had at the time.
Kerrville leaders say the city is updating its building codes to help keep structures safe in future storms. Lawmakers have also filed bills to provide funding for early warning systems and improve emergency communications.
Whether it's a series of warning sirens or an automated, data-driven alerting system, or even a hybrid of both, we need solutions in place that protect the public and save lives.
One damage estimate for these floods puts the total at a minimum of $18 billion. In Kerrville, Texas, I'm Garrett Tenney, Fox News.
Well, Doug is next with a complete look at your forecast, and later, voices and votes.
Learning how America built its union through a brand new museum. I'm Lonnie Walton in the O Show. I'll have that story coming up.
Well, it turned out to be a beautiful Thursday for us today, especially compared to what we've seen over the past 2 weeks. Over the past 2 weeks, we've been above average in the humidity across the region. Now, some of you got some rain last night and a couple little showers during the morning hours. Anything tonight stays mainly to our south, so once you get into Benton County, northwest Arkansas, you guys have the better shot to get a few pop-up showers through the night. You'll see them fairly random all the way into Friday morning. Temperatures, this is going to be the first morning that we start into the 60s in quite some time. As we go through the day, we're going to stop at your noon hour. We're right around 82 degrees. Here's another good factor on Friday. The humidity is going to drop off as well, even compared to what we saw today. Now, I think most of us 84, 85 as we get into the afternoon. Let me take you into Saturday morning, even better. Look at this, low to mid 60s to start the weekend. Saturday afternoon, great again, 85, 86 degrees, 4 afternoon highs. Day planner for you, 79 by noon, 84 for an afternoon high, well below our average high for this time of the year. 85 Saturday, 88 on a Sunday, and really pretty much sunny skies as we go through the weekend. Now, we still want to fix this. Dew points mid to upper 60s to near 70. So that makes it feel sticky to muggy. We're going to shift this down into that not bad category by the time tomorrow kicks off. All right, second half of the weekend, watching for a complex of showers and thunderstorms. This is going to be our next shot to get some widespread rain across the region. Sunday night into Monday morning. Temperatures mid-80s again on Monday. As we go to Tuesday, we start to kick the heat back in. So we're looking at upper 80s to near 90. By Wednesday, I think we cruise into the mid, if not upper 90s for afternoon highs. Here's why we cooled off. So that big heat dome that has been centered on top of us for the past 2 weeks has now shifted out across the southwestern parts of the U.S. and allows these waves to drop in, one giving us some rain chances, but also bringing in some cold fronts. So let's go through the next several days. Our high continues to work back toward the west. Here's our chance for rain Sunday night, but I want you to notice what happens next week. High pressure builds back in, and what that means for you is the heat and the humidity return, but then we get another wave that drops in, so next weekend, and that will bring in another chance for rain. I do want to show you this. I know it's dried out quite a bit over the past couple weeks, so your grass may be crunchy, but the soil is in good shape, so we have no drought whatsoever across the region, which we will definitely take. All right, 84 on Friday, 85 Saturday, 88 on Sunday, 87 on Monday with those rain chances, but enjoy it. Look at the 90s soaring back in next week.
Well, the First Christian Church in Baxter Springs, Kansas is giving away free produce to anyone in need. Each Wednesday, community members are welcome to the garden and given produce grown in the church's garden. Cody Graves, the church's pastor, says the goal of the garden is getting fresh food in the hands of people who need it.
It's great to, first of all, just get to do this with each other. I've gotten to know people that have worked out here just from working out here with them, but the people we help, getting to see them and love on them and show them that they have dignity even if maybe they're going through a hard time in life.
Now, some of the produce growing in the garden includes peppers, tomatoes, eggplants, and more. Join us Sunday night on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14 to see how church members are connecting while supporting people in need. Still ahead, the Little League Midwest Region Tournament begins tomorrow with a fun matchup. We'll have details, plus Chiefs kicker Harrison Butker makes some changes in the offseason. Those tweaks and more coming up in sports.
We are a day away from the Little League Midwest Region Tournament in Whitestown, Indiana, with two local teams taking the field for a chance at playing in the Little League World Series. State of Kansas representative Pittsburgh All-Stars and the Webb City All-Stars, who are representing Missouri, will compete for a spot in Williamsport to represent the Midwest. Tomorrow night, these teams will begin their quest for the Little League World Series against each other. And while these star-studded squads are focused on starting the double elimination tournament with a win, they are excited to share the field on a national stage.
It's the typical meme that you see from like coaches on Facebook, is that you get to travel 8.5 hours to go play a team 20 minutes from you. And that's what everybody always laughs about, but in this case it's real life. I've got some friends on that team, some friends' kids that play on that team. They congratulated us afterward. I'd like to say congratulations to them. It's really cool that this area is represented so well at such a big tournament.
We're going to play our neighbors, right? And so that's going to be fun to do. I think we're going to prep just like any other team and try to put our best game plan forward with our best pitching staff that we can do, and have a good rotation plan for this. We wish them well, and we're going to compete and give it our all.
The Little League version of the Border War will be aired on ESPN Plus tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Last season, Chiefs kicker Harrison Butker spent time on the injured reserve due to a knee injury. This offseason, Butker made some changes to his kicking technique. Talking to the media on Tuesday, the Chiefs star, nicknamed the Butt Kicker, emphasized that his focus coming into the season is to stay upright through his motion on kicks.
The biggest focus was not collapsing down onto that left knee after making contact with the ball, trying to be upright and skipping through it. And for the most part, I think the majority, if not all my kicks, I'm staying upright. Some of them, my knee doesn't quite touch on the follow through, but it gets a little close sometimes. But I think just for longevity purposes, staying upright, skipping through, being more repeatable is only going to help me, and my body has felt better.
Technique is not his lone area of focus before the season. With the NFL making changes to the kickoff rules, offenses now start at the 35-yard line after a touchback, and Butker is working on his mentality to channel his inner Tiger Woods.
I do think of myself more as a golfer. You have to place it in there, and I think that's why you really have to practice both directions, left to right, and make sure you're dialed in, and that you can just place the ball in the landing zone. And it really makes the kickoff feel more like a pressure kick. Before, you could just go out there, let your legs swing, try to hit it through the uprights, hit a touchback. If they wanted a high hang time, again, hit that ball to the moon. If it goes to the 5 with good hang time, everyone's happy. If it's a touchback, still not a big deal. But now there's a lot more pressure on the kicker to hit it in that landing zone.
Last night, the Joplin Outlaws wrapped up their home regular season schedule with a win over the Fort Smith Marshals to clinch the top seed in the Mid-America League playoffs. The Outlaws currently lead the Marshals 8-7 in the 7th inning. 7 different Joplin hitters have knocked in a run, but Fort Smith has the go-ahead run on base. The trade deadline in the major leagues has come and gone with both the Royals and Cardinals active and making deals prior to the 5 o'clock deadline this evening. Starting in Kansas City, the Royals striking a deal with the San Diego Padres. KC is sending catcher Freddie Fermin to the Padres, who will get an opportunity to become the starting backstop. In return, the Royals are getting 2 right-handed pitchers, Ryan Burgard and Stephen Kolick, adding some depth to a pitching staff that is riddled with injuries. In the final hour before the deadline, Kansas City made another splash, acquiring lefty Bailey Falter from the Pirates. Pittsburgh is receiving pitcher Evan Sisk and first baseman Callan Moss in return. Similar to last year, the Royals add an arm at the deadline to the pitching staff with years of control, as Falter doesn't hit free agency until 2029. In 22 starts this year, he has a 3.73 ERA, and he will slide into KC's starting rotation. But the Royals weren't done there, making one last move to land Mike Yastrzemski from the Giants. Kansas City parts ways with their 20th ranked prospect, Junior Marte, as he heads to San Francisco. Despite trading for guys like Adam Frazier and Randall Grichuk already, KC was in the market for an outfield bat, and they get one with Yastrzemski on Thursday. After trading closer Ryan Helsley to the Mets on Wednesday, the Cardinals weren't done late last night. St. Louis sent Steven Matz to the Boston Red Sox for their 20th ranked minor league prospect, Blaze Jordan. This season, Matz has thrown 55 innings and posted a 3.44 ERA, 47 strikeouts to only 9 walks. And across AA and AAA this year, Jordan is hitting .308 with 12 home runs. And right before the clock struck 5, the Cardinals traded away another piece of their bullpen, sending Phil Maton to the Rangers. In return, Texas is sending St. Louis a pair of pitching prospects, southpaw Mason Molina and righty Skylar Hales. The Cardinals are also receiving $250,000 in international signing bonus pool money. It was an active day, the MLB trade deadline, Cardinals selling, Royals buying. A lot went on, but both teams, I think, got their missions accomplished.
It sounded like, for the Royals at least, that this were going to be some pretty good moves.
Some really good moves. Going into next year, prior to these moves, they had 5 starting pitchers under contract. After today, they now have 8. So the depth is now there. Hopefully that helps them make a run towards the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't know about the Cardinals with getting money for trading for quality.
Last night, they kind of showed that they were selling and kind of going back into their rebuild mode like they were expected to do at the start of the year, trading a guy like Ryan Helsley and now trading off other pieces. So looks like the Cardinals are going to focus on rebuilding and trying to start competing next year.
All right, we're back with more news after this. Crowder College in Neosho, Missouri is hosting a traveling exhibit to teach locals about democracy in the 4 states. The event is called Voices and Votes. As KOM's Lonnie Walton reports, this experience showcases how generations continue to figure out how to build a more perfect union.
I understand that I have the right to vote, but I don't actually know how we got there.
Tiffany Blevins is a lifelong learner at Crowder College. She says since she's part of the Cherokee Nation, she wants to know how her roots gained a voice in society.
I do know that Indigenous people were either the last or one of the last to get voting rights.
Well, Blevins came to the right place according to Deanne Clammer, the head of Social Science Division at Crowder College. Clammer says the museum has a lot of local history for people like Blevins.
This is designed specifically to come into communities our size and give our local people access to a little taste of what Smithsonian has to offer, because it is, after all, as taxpayers, it's ours. This already belongs to us.
Cindy Brown, the director of public information at Crowder College, says the education is quite simple to understand.
Figured out that it's for all ages, so you don't have to be a history buff or a political person that interested in politics to understand that there's a lot you can learn from this.
It shows us the scope and the scale of Camp Crowder when it was in its heyday here in the local community, and demonstrates the incredible impact that this construction had on Newton County.
These experts say you must go back to move forward.
Not necessarily ever recreate the circumstances that gave us the election of 1824, but we can absolutely learn from it.
You have to know where you came from to kind of know where you want to go.
And the college tells me they plan on having other patriotic events throughout the month of August. Reporting in Neosho, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOM News.
The Voices and Votes traveling exhibit will be on display through August 31st. Up next, Curry's got a new animated movie, a superstar couple earns Emmy honors, and Hollywood previews powerful new projects. It's all coming up in today's Hollywood Nation. A legendary Hollywood couple will be honored for a lifetime of giving back at the Emmys. Fox's Ashley Dvorkin has a look at this story and more in today's Hollywood Nation.
Curry's animated comedy Center Court and a superstar Hollywood couple honored in today's Hollywood Nation. Ted Danson and Mary Steenburgen will receive the 2025 Bob Hope Humanitarian Award at the 77th Emmy Awards. The two are being recognized for a lifetime of philanthropy and activism. They'll get the award at the Emmys September 14th.
Why would I return to a country where I was convicted of murder?
Today's first looks include Hulu's The Twisted Tale of Amanda Knox, inspired by Knox's wrongful conviction for the murder of her roommate in Italy. The limited series spans the past 16 years. It premieres August 20th.
Creative string of hits.
I want 10 copies of that.
Ethan Hawke reunites with filmmaker Richard Linklater for Blue Moon. Set March 31st, 1943, Hawke stars as songwriter Lorenz Hart confronting his shattered confidence as former collaborator Richard Rodgers celebrates opening night of Oklahoma. The film is in theaters October 24th.
My day in court.
A teaser trailer was released for Nuremberg, based on the book The Nazi and the Psychiatrist. The post-World War II courtroom drama centers around the Nuremberg trials and the Allies ensuring the Nazi regime answers for the horrors of the Holocaust. Russell Crowe, Rami Malek, and Michael Shannon star. It's in theaters November 7th.
A goat. A goat?
Plus, in animated movies, producer Stephen Curry introduced a sneak peek of Goat. The action comedy follows a small goat with big dreams of going pro in Roarball. It's in theaters February 2026. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
And that's our time for tonight. Thank you for joining us. We're going to leave you with video of an aardvark enjoying birthday treats at the Point Defiance Zoo in Tacoma, Washington. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow.